improve.
A look at the halftime stats, which are fairly even and pretty much exemplified by this fact. Each team had 4 possessions in the first half. There were no turnovers. They each punted twice, and they each had a drive for a touchdown and a drive which ended in a field goal. Can't get much more even than that. Tied at 10. Cincinnati to receive. Carlos preparing to kick to start the second half.
Bob, in those lost in those stats in the first half, the 2 biggest plays for Cincinnati were 2 penalties on Denver.
And Carlos's kick drives David Verser almost to the back of the end zone. Carlos has been doing that consistently. They'll settle for the touchback. Turk Schonert leads them back onto the field. In case you've been out of the country all week, Ken Anderson is out with the neck injury sustained as the result of the Keith Gary tackle on Monday night, and Schonert making his first NFL start. Fakes to Alexander, throws, and a diving catch by Rodney Tate out of the backfield. A splendid catch at the 45-yard line for a gain of 25.
Interesting choice of defense on the first play. They come with a safety blitz and also a linebacker blitz, and Rodney Tate on on Tom Jackson, right up the gut of that defense. That's the open spot. That was a double rotation zone, Bob. Corners up, safeties out. Watch 58 Busick. He goes to the right. He's supposed to help there in coverage on Tate, and somehow missed. You see 53 Gradishar on the blitz. This is a splendid catch. Young man who has outstanding speed out of Texas.
While we have a chance, as they tend to Tate, let's explain that a little more, because that's footballese that people hear every week. Double rotation zone. What does it mean?
Okay, you have 3 ways to rotate a zone: strong side, weak side, and rotate both ways. What happens is the corners rotate up to the line of scrimmage, try to funnel the receivers to the outside. The 2 safeties cover the outside third of each side of the field. The linebackers are left to cover the tight end and running backs down the middle. In that particular case, a good play action fake by Turk Schonert, and Rodney Tate passed the linebacker and a good reception.
No wonder coaches make such high salaries. Able to figure all that out. Alexander carries, and a gain of perhaps 3. At the World Series, Rick Dempsey, a guy whose offense was looked upon with disdain by some until this week. He's having a heck of a World Series. He homers in the 3rd. Add that to Eddie Murray's solo blast earlier, and it's 2-0 Baltimore in the 3rd inning at Philadelphia.
Bob, did you expect this World Series to be as home run oriented as it's been?
I guess nobody could have expected that, but on the other hand, generally there are more home runs hit in World Series play than during the regular season. That's a statistical fact. Take forever to explain why, but it is a fact. Schonert.
Denver defense with the blitz. It's on number 58. Flush Turk Schonert from the pocket. That's Steve Busick, inside backer. And as long as Denver can continue to do that, it's going to create problems for Cincinnati. They got to come up with a play to stop that blitz. Not necessarily pick it up, but just throw a pass behind it. And then you'll run a defense, any defense, out of that kind of blitz.
So they face 3rd and 7 from the 48-yard line.
Incidentally, the Bengals in the first half were 3 of 6 in 3rd down conversions.
3 receivers out left, but Schonert never gets a chance to look at any of them. Dennis Smith is the first guy there. And that's the first time that Schonert has been sacked today.
And they did it again. Came with the safety blitz. Now it appeared somebody missed a blocking assignment behind Turk Schonert, which is something that has happened to this team all season long. You see 40, Charles Alexander consumed by Tom Jackson inside. Oh, I see what happened. Blake Moore was the guy number 60, the center, who was supposed to go out for Dennis Smith. He got tied up with Tom Jackson, and Charles Alexander wasn't able to get out there and pick up the blitz here. Big play, Denver.
McInally now to kick. He'll meet it at his own 25.
Whoa.
And Zach Thomas has to backpedal to the 10-yard line. Doesn't quite make it back to the 20 on a fine boot by Pat McInally. 56-yard punt. And a return, let's say, of 9. With 12 minutes and 32 seconds to play third quarter, the Broncos have their first second-half possession coming up. We're tied at 10. Steve DeBerg, who came to Denver from San Francisco, and there you look at Forrest Gregg, the Bengal coach. DeBerg came to Denver in 1981 for a 4th-round draft choice in the '83 draft, so Broncos did well in that deal. He gets his hands on the ball for the first time in the second half, swings it out to Upchurch for just about nothing, maybe a gain of 1. Today's game is brought to you by Chevrolet, official U.S. cars and trucks of the 14th Olympic Winter Games. Chevrolet and you taking charge. By Kmart K-Care Auto Centers. With our promise of service, value, and satisfaction, we've got it good. And by Southern Pacific, 41,000 people working in 18 industries all across America. Call it no gain on the last play, 2nd and 10. Play fake. Over the middle, Watson got it. Near midfield.
DeBerg is hurt.
Left arm, Trump?
Yeah, it looks like it, or left wrist. I can't really tell which. 29 yards on the catch by Watson. Looks like he hurt his wrist. But as I was saying, it looks like single coverage, and he does a great job here because watch 50 from the left side of your screen. Glenn Cameron. Looks like he got his arm scrunched underneath there. Good pattern run by Watson over Lewis Breeden. Excellent catch. Big first down. We'll see if it affects DeBerg here to take the snap from center with that left wrist or arm hurt.
A gain of 29 to the 49. Give it to Preston. Makes a move inside. Good yardage. Dave Preston, first down at the Cincinnati 40. You know who's an interesting man on this Denver ball club? When DeBerg is hurt, the camera immediately goes to Elway. How'd you like to be Gary Kubiak? There he is, number 8. Rookie from Texas A&M, an 8th-round draft choice. He is not looking at the realistic prospect of NFL action anytime in the near future.
Probably yet to do his first interview or anything.
Undoubtedly available, though. Preston again for perhaps 3 before Tom Dinkle makes the tackle.
Well, now the Denver Broncos have had that halftime to kind of regroup, come up with a game plan that they can employ in the second half without the services of Sammy Winder and their other tight end, Riley Odom. And so far been able to manipulate the ball down the field very well. But I repeat, it's going to take superb individual performances today by Denver. Big plays like that catch Watson just made. Precise patterns run. Good pass protection. They're really facing adversity here.
Takes the pitch, rolls right, throws on the run, and the catch is made by Upchurch. Out of bounds at the 18-yard line for a Denver first down. They get 19 on the play.
Well, I'll tell you, it's an excellent play because generally there is an underneath receiver in that situation, and he was knocked off by the linebackers. That was a naked rollout by Steve DeBerg. And Upchurch ran an excellent pattern, came back with the football. Another first down.
9:26 to play, third quarter. The give to Preston, nothing at all. The series between the Broncos and the Bengals, which goes back to the AFL days, is tied at 6 victories apiece. They last played in 1981 when Cincinnati was a juggernaut. That was their Super Bowl season. And in Cincinnati, the Bengals won 38-21 in a big offensive show. So it was a loss of 1, creating 2nd and 11. Watson in motion. Preston looks for a block. Gets a couple of yards. Strong safety Bobby Kemp will get credit for the tackle on the play for Cincinnati. It may be time for Carlos shortly.
Bob, coming into this ball game, Dave Preston had carried the ball once for this entire season. He has now carried the ball 11 times.
Now DeBerg will operate out of the shotgun. He's 15 of 20 so far for 176 yards and a touchdown. He needs 9. And he's got it.
Big catch.
It's going to be first and goal. Louis Breeden was over there on the coverage and held the ball with the receiver Watson simultaneously, but then Watson wrested it away.
Watson's 6th catch of the ball game, and I repeat that the Bengals came into this football game the #1 ranked defense in the NFL, #5 against the rush, #1 against the pass. And with very few offensive weapons, the Denver Broncos have been able to mount a very good drive here at the start of the second half. 90 yards and receptions by Steve Watson. He's their big play guy. They need him today.
First and goal at the 7-yard line. Preston bangs down to about the 2. He scored their only touchdown earlier on a 3-yard pass from DeBerg.
What's he saying? Thursday there? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Or is it? Oh, 3. I understand.
Oh. You do come up with an occasional off-the-wall interpretation, don't you?
Try to keep it light, entertaining.
They got to the 3 rather than the 2. And it's second and goal from there.
Now Preston goes to tight end. He's up on the line of scrimmage there.
Touchdown.
And he had a big block.
Rick Parros for the touchdown. He has seen only the slightest bit of action today, but he was in on that play and scores from the 3.
Dave Preston on the wing had an excellent block against Louis Breeden. Driving Breeden back into the end zone. Watch at the top. You'll see, there you see Preston. Nate Poole through there. 6 points, good run, good play calling, excellent drive by the Denver Broncos.
And for Parros, his first touchdown on the ground this year. He had one on a pass play earlier. So his second TD overall, and now Carlos for the 17th point out of DeBerg's hold. Hasn't missed a PAT all season. 7:11 to play in the third quarter, and that's lucky for Denver. They lead it 17-10.
'83 is coming at you with a special doubleheader Sunday. The Patriots from New England take on the hard-charging Bills, and the Pittsburgh Steelers battle it out with the Seattle Seahawks, plus hard-hitting regional action only on NBC.
Carlos has put his kickoffs consistently deep into the end zone. This one no exception, and Mercer will accept the touchback. What an advantage that is when your kickoff man almost every time puts the opposition 80 yards away from your goal line. And as Cincinnati sets up offensively, we'll take this break.
For the past 2 years, I've been telling you, with some interruptions, that an independent test for best color picture, the Sylvania Superset beat RCA, Zenith, and Sony. Well, this year we again asked over 1,000 people which TV had the best overall color picture. And more of them picked the 19-inch Sylvania Superset over RCA and Zenith, and Sony too.
何ですか? こんなですか? Sylvania beats Sony again? どうして? 別会でしょ?
Chevy Truck is taking charge. Are you tough enough to make it with the U.S. Army? Chevy Trucks are. The Army contracted for 53,000 tough, full-size Chevy pickups and Blazers. These rugged four-wheel drives are regular production vehicles powered by the proven 6.2-liter diesel V8. Need a truck as tough as the U.S. Army's? Just sign up at your Chevy dealers today. Chevy Tough is taking charge.
The best equipment and the biggest names in auto racing. Andretti, Rutherford, Sneva, and Mears. The CART Las Vegas 200. Plus, Gentle Giant share their ancient tradition of combat. Only on NBC Sports World.
Well, Trump, the Baltimore Orioles have been waiting for Eddie Murray to break loose. He's obliged today. He's hit his second homer of the game in the top of the fourth at Philadelphia with a man on. It's 4-0 Baltimore as they look for the clincher. And here's the give to Alexander from the 20-yard line, and Alexander gets 7 on the first down carry.
All right, I want to remind everybody of how the Bengals' last drive ended. Let's watch closely. Up front, number 60, Blake Moore is the center. Now you see 40, pick up 57. 60, the center is supposed to go out and pick up 49, Dennis Smith. He's there for the sack, and teams have done that over the last 4 or 5 weeks against the Bengals, and I'm sure Denver will try desperately to continue to do that.
6.5 minutes to play, third quarter. Long count by Schoner. Another try for Alexander. It's a first down for Cincinnati.
Alexander picks up the first down. No panic on the Bengals' part here. Still staying with their game plan. This is kind of a pick-em spot for Charles Alexander. They try to cut a defensive man off and create a little seam in the defense. Alexander threw there for the first down. Their first down in the second half, I believe.
Curtis in motion. Tate to carry. Comes back the other way and gets to the 34-yard line. Steve Busick, one of those in on the tackle. Steve Foley was also there.
Well, now second down and 8. This is certainly the situation that you would expect Denver to come up with a safety blitz. If Cincinnati goes back in a passing set, they haven't stopped that blitz very well. They'll go with what's been successful so far. That is that safety blitz.
Alexander, and Alexander bolts for what appears to be first down yardage to about the 43-yard line. First downs for the game, and this isn't always a revealing stat, sometimes misleading, but for the game, Denver has 16 first downs, and Cincinnati now has 13. .430 on the clock. Schoner with a world of time, and with the completion to Ross, who's driven back just short of midfield. We'll be back here at Mile High Stadium in a moment. First, let's check with New York.
Thank you, Bob Costas. Moments ago in Seattle, Paul Johns for the Seahawks takes this punt. He goes 74 yards. The Seahawks have just taken the lead over the Raiders, 21-17. Bob Costas, back to you.
Okay, thanks, Len. Trump, does Chuck Knox have something going up there in Seattle?
Yes, he does. Very obvious. They got a good center in Blair Bush, good running back in Kurt Warner, and a good general manager in Mike McCormick. Blitz showing by Denver.
Schoner unloads up top, wants Collinsworth.
He's open.
He makes a fine grab inside the 5-yard line. A penalty marker went down, but I would guess it's interference on Denver, and Collinsworth, in spite of all that, caught it anyway.
Obviously a big catch. Here's one of the things that you like about Turk Schoner. Now, an inexperienced quarterback would try to throw this to Chris Collinsworth. He puts it up, air underneath it. He can throw it far enough. He allows Chris Collinsworth to make the adjustment. There you see the obvious interference, but great concentration on the football.
There was no foul
over
on
Mike
the play.
Harden.
The flag fell to the ground accidentally. First down.
Well,
First
you heard
down.
that announcement by Jerry Markbright that the flag fell to the ground accidentally, and the point is academic anyway because Collinsworth made the catch.
It may have fallen to the ground accidentally, but it had to be taken out of the pocket on purpose.
So first and goal from the 3, and Schoner will stay with the air game.
Oh!
Intercepted by Harden. Look out now. Schonert's the only guy with a crack at him. He goes inside him, but he was slowed up enough so that some of the other pursuit gets there. And he stopped at the 45. I thought for a split second we were looking at 102 and a touchdown.
We can see the mistake. Turk waits too long to throw it. Harden waiting right there. Rodney Holman, the intended receiver. Gigantic play for Denver. From the end zone, watch Turk Schoenert when he turns around. Once he looks downfield, he starts looking for Rodney Holman. He looks to his right. Now he sees Holman. He keeps looking. He keeps looking. He never looks off the defensive back. Interception, Mike Harden. He's a guy that was just burnt by Chris Collinsworth. Makes amends.
For Harden, his first interception of the year, and when he tried to go inside Schoenert, that allowed some of the others to catch up when he came back toward the middle of the field, and Pete Johnson made the tackle. So 47 yards on the return after the interception. Preston. And he gets 5 or 6 out across midfield. Let me correct myself. For Harden, that was his second interception of the season, number 2.
Historically, the Denver Broncos have relied on their defense to give them the big play. No huddle. Here goes Denver again.
2:50 to play, third quarter. Broncos by a touchdown, 17-10. Look out. He got rid of it, and Egloff was in the general vicinity, so it's no intentional grounding.
You can't imagine what that does to the defense of the Cincinnati Bengals. To be 1.5 feet from a touchdown, and all of a sudden the defense is on the field.
Let's pause briefly here for station identification on the NBC television network.
This is Colorado's News Channel, Channel 4, KCNC, Denver.
Forrest Gregg has watched his club go from a powerhouse to a struggling 1-5 unit in a very short period of time. Third down call, they need 4. Intercepted. And this one may come all the way back. 6 points Cincinnati as Louis Wright, check it, my mistake, Ray Horton picked it off and brought it back, the rookie from Washington.
Now the same mistake that Kirk Schoenert made, Steve DeBerg just made too. He watched that receiver out of the backfield. Watch this. He looks right at the receiver. Everybody in the defense knows where he's going. It's zone coverage. Horton standing right there. Watson went outside. DeBerg threw it inside. Turnabout, fair play. For the second week in a row, the Bengals have returned an interception for a touchdown.
I had first called the name of the other number 20, Louis Wright of Denver. Would but that it were so, say the Bronco fans. But no. Now Breach can tie it with this kick. 2:35 to play, third quarter. Brand new game at 17. And Cincinnati's frustration is turned to jubilation in short order on the interception and touchdown return. 55 yards on the return by Horton.
Once again, the interception, Steve DeBerg. Now, I wonder if this play was put in at halftime. Reason I ask, watch, right there, Steve Watson is a good 4 yards away from where the ball was thrown. And occasionally when you put things in at halftime, not everybody's on the same page. You have a miscommunication. There was something grossly wrong with that. DeBerg threw it in the wrong spot, or Watson threw the wrong pattern, but it resulted in 6 points for the Bengals.
Steve Wilson will bring Breach's kick out only to the 21-yard line. So for Ray Horton, the rookie, his first NFL interception. And his eyes must have been as big as saucers when he saw 55 yards of open field ahead of him. It was no contest. He could have walked in.
All he had to do, Bob, was catch it, which at times is the most difficult thing to do in that situation.
Well, it got into his gut so quickly, he hardly had time to think about it. 2 minutes, 26 seconds to play in the third quarter, tied now at 17. Preston. Maybe one. And it's Horton right back to work who makes the stop. So we hadn't had a turnover all day, and then in the space of a couple of minutes, the interceptions by Harden for Denver and Horton for Cincinnati. Good numbers for DeBerg so far.
Let's see once again. Drawing things up on the blackboard at halftime. Both Nathan Poole and Dave Preston went in motion, which is illegal. Take the timeout, and you go to the sideline and try to recoup. Come up with another play. There's Dan Reeves down there without the headset on. John Elway in the jacket behind him. Kubiak with the headset on.
Persons needing first aid, please contact the nurse usher or proceed to the station.
Well, in Dan Reeves' first year as head coach, they nearly went to the playoffs, 10-6. Last year, the strike season was a disaster. How did it wind up? 2-7, as I recall, for Denver. Now this year, they've split their first 6. Ken Anderson, there is no chance that he will see action. Next Sunday, though, plenty of action on NFL 83. Beginning at 12:30 with our feature reports and updates from around the league, anchored by Len Berman. And then these are some of the early games. Miami is at Baltimore. That's a 2 o'clock Eastern time start, preceded by half an hour by the pregame show. And you got to look at the 2 late games. Doubleheader weekend next Sunday on NBC. DeBerg sacked. Glenn Collins got there, number 76.
Tackle made by Collins. Ball's on the 14-yard line.
He's playing inside at a defensive end there. They had a blitz on. You see him come very low on Ken Lanier, 76, like number. Good pressure by the Bengal defense. And first-round draft choice of the Bengals a couple of years ago. Bengals now with a 4-man front, as you can see. Edwards, Collins, Gary Burley, Ross Browner.
They need a bunch on 3rd down. It's going to be caught, but short of the first down by Egloff, the tight end.
The defense accomplishes exactly what it wants. Don't mind giving up 15 yards if they need 18. Make the tackle, keep him in bounds.
It'll be 4th down.
What they got precisely was 11, leaving them with 4th and 6. We're in the closing minute of the 3rd quarter. 40 seconds remaining now.
They were in that huddle for quite a while there, weren't they? Rather surprising for a punt.
Prestridge's average misleading because one of those kicks was a 34-yarder that he put out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Mike Martin is the deep man. Rookie driven back to about the 25 and returns it to the 34-yard line. Wilbur Myers makes the tackle after a 49-yard Prestridge punt. And we'll say a 9-yard Martin return. 10 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter.
That was a good play by Wilbur Myers there. He was about 6 yards away when that ball was caught. Made good recovery to get over there and stop Mike Martin. Whoa.
Harden was the defender and was a step away from his 2nd interception as Schonert overthrew Collinsworth.
Looked to me like his intended receiver was Ken Anderson.
Some 30 yards further away on the sideline.
Yes, that one kind of got away from it.
Could he be rattled by the experience the last time?
Well, anything is possible, yes, but in that particular case, it appeared that some miscommunication. Collinsworth turned in, Schonert threw it to the outside. If that happens, look at him glinting into that sun. That may also have an effect on who he's throwing it to and where he's throwing it.
2nd and 10. The clock's going to run out on the 3rd quarter after the Alexander carry for only a couple of yards. So Schonert and the Bengals will face 3rd and 8 when the 4th quarter begins. And we're tied at 17 at the end of 3. Back after this from your local station. Neither team has had a lead of anything more than 7 points at any time in this game. And we start the 4th quarter tied at 17. 3rd down and 8 for the Bengals. Schonert has time, but it's over the outstretched hand of Curtis, and a flag goes down, and it went down a little bit late. The Bronco fans are upset, and Curtis is shaken up.
Penalty is going to be spearing. Don't mess with him. Let him alone. No, don't do that.
Why not?
Anytime there is a possibility of a neck injury, watch this hit. That's going to be called spearing, I believe, on Steve Foley, and Foley is down too. But whenever somebody's got a neck injury, for you high school kids or college kids, do not touch him. Leave him alone until the doctors get out there. He could have a displaced vertebrae in his neck. Don't mess with him. Just don't unsnap a face mask or anything. It's going to be an automatic 1st down for the Bengals. Here's the call.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 43, defense, 1st down.
So it's unnecessary roughness on Steve Foley, the free safety.
Once again, I think this is directly tied to last Monday night, and the league office telling the officials pay more attention to hits that might possibly seriously injure a player.
Well, both of them are still down, and while they tend to them, we'll take this break. Another look. The ball pops free. Foley makes the contact. The flag goes down as a result. Both Foley and Curtis have gone off under their own power, but as a former receiver, you've got to cringe when you see a play like that.
Nightmares. You put those out of your mind, and Curtis, for the years that he's played, and Foley playing back there, knows that on a given Sunday, a couple of those might happen. But both appear to be fine. They did, as you said, go off under their own power.
The ball is placed at midfield where it's 1st and 10 Cincinnati, and Schonert finds Ross for another 1st down, a gain of 15 to the 35-yard line. And we're required at this juncture to tell you that today's game is brought to you by Jeep Cherokee and Jeep Wagoneer. When it comes to 4-wheel drive, one word says it all: Jeep. By Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, brewers of Michelob. Some things speak for themselves. And by RCA, maker of innovative video products that will open your eyes. In motion, Verser on the 1st down play. Rodney Tate takes the pitch, gets a couple of yards.
Good job there by the Denver Bronco defense. Number 28, Roger Jackson, a cornerback, turned that play inside. And that basically is what the support corner or safety should do. You turn it inside, the pursuit should be there to catch up with the play.
Rodney Tate in his 2nd year out of Texas. Collinsworth left. Verser and Tate both go out to the right. Schonert throws it into the ground in the general vicinity of Ross. He had lots of time on that play.
I tell you what, as he started to throw it, he saw the 2 linebackers wanted to take it back. That's why it ended up right in the ground. He did not want to throw an interception in that situation.
You described Schonert earlier as a cool customer, and I'm sure that's right, Trump, but I guess it's possible for a young quarterback to get a little bit gun-shy immediately after an interception.
Sure, you're absolutely right. And quarterbacks, like cornerbacks, you got to have short memories. And when you throw an interception, you got to wipe it out of your mind. Or when you allow a touchdown as a cornerback, you got to wipe that out of your mind. Blitz coming.
They pick it up, but it's incomplete. I don't know whether the intended receiver was Ross cutting over or Collinsworth deeper. It fell between them.
Safety blitz once again. Roger Jackson, 28. He's supposed to be picked up by Charles Alexander. Alexander missed him ever so slightly. He was there to pressure Turk Schoenert.
Schoenert's numbers 11 of 18 now for 193 and an interception.
I said 28. That's not 28. That's 29. That's Wilbur Myers. He's there to make the pressure along with Bryson Manor. Wow, look at this.
52-yard attempt coming by Breach unless they fake it. Kreider is the holder. He hasn't tried one beyond 50 yet this year. It's wide to the left. So the score remains tied at 17. We've got 13:22 left in regulation. Forrest Gregg, Coach of the Year not long ago at Cleveland, then to the CFL for a while, and on to Super Bowl fame with Cincinnati. And Dan Reeves, of course, his first head coaching job after years as an assistant on the Dallas staff.
They were teammates in Dallas in 1971, Reeves and Forrest Gregg.
DeBerg back to work,
Reverse.
trying to break the tie. It's the flea flicker. DeBerg looking. And it drops incomplete after a crack at an interception. Looked like Lewis Breeden had a hand on it briefly for Cincinnati.
Ross Browner was back in DeBerg's face.
You could tell right away, even before DeBerg released, that that play had not achieved what they were trying for, and Baltimore pours it on in the 5th. The Phillies will need a miracle to stay alive. Between the All-Star game and what apparently is about to happen in the World Series, maybe the American League won't have to eat crow all this winter, as they have so many times in the past. Redemption for them. Short drop to Berg.
Oh!
Threw it into a crowd and got away with it. Dinkle was the guy who had the best crack at it.
You see, once again, that play had the appearance of one drawn up on the blackboard at halftime. And it was thrown right dead into coverage.
It'll be 3rd and 10. With 13:10 to play in the 4th quarter.
Bengals now with 4 defensive linemen, 1 linebacker, and that leaves 6 defensive backs. Offsides Bengals, free play.
See if they can take advantage of it. Broken up, intended for Upchurch, and knocked away by Ray Griffin.
Eddie Edwards jumped off sides, so they'll get another play. Add 5 yards onto it.
Encroachment, defense.
I'll take that bet. That's Clinton Collins jumping into the neutral zone there. That drives coaches nuts. You know why? 2 yards to his right, he's looking right at the football.
Encroachment, 76, defense, 3rd down.
It really is unnerving to defensive coaches when they're staring at Pete Rozelle written on that football. No reason for them to move until that moves. Actually, there's no particular advantage to being quick off the line in that situation either. 3rd down and 16. 3rd down and what? 5?
3rd and 10.
3rd and 10.
5 now. And they get that yardage with Preston making the catch. At about the 47-yard line, he's down by Reggie Williams and Ray Griffin.
Costly mistake shows up in the stats as just a 5-yard penalty, but it gave Denver another shot. They convert the 3rd down to a 1st.
Now this game statistically couldn't be any more even. Tied at 17. The first downs are even, 17 apiece. And even the scoring by periods has been identical. Each team was 7 in the first, a field goal apiece in the second, and 7 apiece in the third. Nathan Poole is really walloped as he tries to turn the corner.
Excellent play by Tom Dinkle, 52, outside linebacker this side. And it must have been a pre-designed blitz because Tom Dinkle was in the backfield. He not only disrupted the play, but took out 2 blockers, the lead blocker for Poole and also the pulling guard. Excellent play, Dink, 52.
Poole is flat on his back and will go to New York.
All right, thank you, Bob. Moments ago in Seattle, Jim Zorn back to pass. He will be hit by Howie Long of the Raiders. The ball pops up. It's recovered by Zorn's teammate, the lineman Robert Pratt, but that's a safety in the end zone. The Raiders within 2. Back to you, Bob.
Okay, Lenny, here we have 12 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. And Poole is being helped to his feet.
Now they're down to 2 healthy running backs. Rick Parros and Dave Preston.
Unless you count Jesse Miles, who is listed as a reserve running back, but his play has been confined to the special teams pretty much. Gerald Wilhite and Rob Lytle still sidelined by injuries.
2nd and 10.
Wilhite and Lytle, of course, not suiting up yet this season.
Blitz.
DeBerg. Nobody there.
Flag down.
Upchurch went one way and DeBerg threw it the other, and Upchurch looked back at DeBerg as if to say, was it my fault or was it yours?
Well, we won't know until the game films are examined what the intent was.
We have 2 fouls. We have holding number 52, defense. We have holding number 24, offense. Penalties offset, 2nd down.
Tom Dinkel and Rick Parros.
Even the penalties are fairly even in this game.
This is amazing. Same number of turnovers, am I correct? 1 each, both on an interception, no fumbles. How about punts? I wonder how many punts either team has had.
Sure, our crack statistician will get that for us momentarily.
2 for the Bengals. Oh, 3 for Denver.
Preston crosses midfield into Cincinnati territory. Jim LeClaire will get credit for the tackle. 11.5 minutes to play in the game. There goes the veteran from North Dakota. Has he made any statements? You live and work in Cincinnati on your radio talk show, Bob, about how much longer he plans to stick around?
Well, we're led to believe this might be his last year. Same is true of Glenn Cameron. They have 10 players, and they're on their option year, playing out their option. The Cincinnati Bengal team may change drastically from next year.
3rd and 5. Preston, what a busy day for him. Down to the 40, but it's a 1st down.
Preston has got 15 carries now, and that was his 4th catch. He has, as you say, been very busy today.
One of those catches for a touchdown in the 1st quarter. You know, you mentioned Trump, all the players who may be leaving the Bengals. There was a time less than 2 years ago when most talent evaluators would tell you that man for man, the Bengals had the best talent on their roster in football. May not be the case in the near future.
Gone by the wayside in a hurry, hasn't it?
DeBerg for Watson, knocked away.
Louis Breeden, 34, with a good jumping effort just to knock the ball away. Bobby Kemp, 26, behind him. And that's that double rotation zone, Bob. As long as there was no running back underneath Louis Breeden, he drops back underneath the receiver. There you see it. That's a double rotation zone, and the fans were asking and lobbying for a late hit on Steve Watson by Bobby Kemp. This time did not get it. Buffalo pounds Baltimore 30-7.
Dallas going to be 7-0, having their own way with Philadelphia. In and out of the hands of Zach Thomas, the rookie from South Carolina State, almost made a fine reception. This will be a very tough day in the city of brotherly love unless the Phillies can rally. The Eagles taking it on the chin, as you can see, and the Phillies about to have their world championship hopes slip away in baseball. Rams and Falcons tied in the 4th.
Gee, the Rams have come back. What? Kansas City leading the Giants 24-17?
That doesn't surprise me that much. The Giants have been very inconsistent. And it's at Kansas City. They need 10 now on third down from the 40 with 10:05 to play in the game.
Big catch.
Upchurch.
Outstanding catch by Upchurch. 4-man front, 1 linebacker. They get back 2 linebackers and 5 defensive backs. This is an outstanding catch by a young guy who in the past couple of years has been a little bit suspect. People in this area wonder about his willingness to go after the football. In that particular case, he went all out. That is a great catch by Rick Upchurch.
And it gives them a first down just outside the 27-yard line. Clock running with 9:22 showing. Fake to Preston. Lots of time for DeBerg. Almost the second interception for Ray Horton. And he had that one right in the breadbasket and couldn't hold it. He'd returned the earlier one, 55 yards for the tying touchdown.
Bob, I think he was most surprised that Rick Upchurch didn't even raise his hands to catch the football. That appeared to be, with a very good effort, a catchable ball. But watch this. Horton certainly expects some contact when the ball goes through Upchurch's hands. Didn't even put him up. Didn't even put him up, and therefore Horton was very surprised.
Parros and Preston are the backs. Poole and Winder, the starters, have both been hurt. Into a crowd and completed at the 12-yard line. It's Egloff, the tight end, on the reception.
Now that's the design of most offenses nowadays. They face so many different defenses. Simply finding the seam in the zone between 2 linebackers, Cameron and LeClaire. Egloff pulls up. Berg reads the drop of the linebackers and fires it in there for a big first down. Been a good drive, Bob. Started back at their own 34-yard line.
They pitch it to Preston. Just gets back to the line of scrimmage. Jim LeClaire belted him down.
Tom Dinkel again, number 52 of the Bengals, stripped Preston of all of his interference. Watson, Parros, and a guard.
We mentioned early in the telecast how one of the drives that the Broncos put together last week at Houston covered more than 90 yards and involved only 2 pass plays. That was when they had healthy backs and Winder was running for 165 yards. They've been forced to abandon the running game to a large extent now because they have but 2 healthy backs in Preston and Parros. Do I see Poole back in? No, I don't. It's Parros who is still in there, and it's Upchurch who makes the catch. LeClaire on the tackle. The ball is spotted at the 7, where it will be 3rd down and 5 with 7:20 to play in the game.
Well, that's Upchurch's 5th reception on the day. They need a touchdown here. Come away with this missed opportunity after a good long drive here.
They get the touchdown. It's Parros.
Let's remind everyone this drive was kept alive at its outset. On a 3rd down and 10 situation, an offsides by a defensive lineman 2 yards from the football. A little underneath battered by Parros. 6 points. Now if this game keeps its nature, now the Bengals will score next time they get it.
Carlos now will try and make it 24-17. It's perfect. 6 minutes and 57 seconds remaining in the game. And on the 2nd touchdown of the day by Parros, the first on the ground, the 2nd through the air, Denver is in front by a touchdown. Except for one kickoff, which was purposely kicked short by Carlos, Cincinnati has not been able to return any of Denver's kickoffs.
He may on this one.
Mercer, yeah, he'll bring it out. He took it 2 yards deep, and he'll try and bring it out. A little bit of a lane opened up, but he's tripped up and stumbles out to about the 23-yard line. Wilbur Myers again made the tackle, and it was an important one because Verser would have had some running room if he had gotten by Myers. So now with 6:47 remaining, as you looked at the figures on the Denver scoring drive, Schoenert and the Bengals go back to work. Pete Johnson. A handful, and then some.
He is at least a handful.
Busick, Wright, and several reinforcements finally brought him down. Pete got back into the swing of things Monday night against Pittsburgh after his suspension. You say he spent the better part of the week after that in the whirlpool.
After 9 carries. Blitz.
Gets it away. Drops incomplete in the vicinity of Collinsworth.
Schoenert pressured, and Denver has stayed with that blitz. They obviously have a key, not only in down a distance, but a key formation that turns that blitz on, and they've pressured Turk Schoenert all day long. 3rd down and 2. That's one of the things that's changed for this team. Cincinnati over the last 2 years, a very good 3rd down converting team. This year having tremendous trouble.
Pete Johnson, they can't stop him before he gets 1st down yardage. Clock running, 5:55 showing.
You know, in that situation, short yardage, and you give the ball to Pete Johnson, the offensive players are in as much jeopardy of injury as the defensive players are. Pete hits you in the back, you may be out for a month.
A little bit of rhyme. Wilson in motion. Schoenert in all kinds of trouble. And down at the 25-yard line. Bryson Manor, 66, and Steve Busick, 58, combined on the sack.
Trying for that naked rollout once again. This time it just simply did not work. You see Busick going for the play fake, but Manor is out there to be right in Turk Schoenert's face. And he's got no place to go. And the unfortunate thing for Cincinnati is Dan Ross was wide open.
There's an elegant sounding name, isn't it? Bryson Manor. Shall we meet for tea? Yes. We'll hook up at Bryson Manor at 4. Pete Johnson stopped for a loss by the aforementioned Bryson Manor.
Jumped around the center. Bob did an excellent job. Right there in the face of Pete Johnson just as he took the handoff. Well, now you would certainly expect a blitz of some sort. Denver has had great success with it this season. And also this particular day, they've got 2, 4, 5 defensive backs, 3 up front, 3 linebackers.
3rd down, 20. Lots of time. Kreider. Close but short. Not by much.
Certainly in the spot where they got to go for it on 4th down.
At least he got them enough that he leaves them that option. It's 4th and let's say 2.
Well, I'll tell you what. Denver Broncos ran a tackle-in game up front. Kreider got caught in the wash. He was knocked down by the nose man as he tried to release off the line of scrimmage. And it was a delay from the line of scrimmage, but it wasn't meant to be that big a delay. 4th down and 1.
Let's say 2.
Okay.
4th and 2 with 3:21 remaining. They'll throw for it.
He caught it.
I believe he did. No. Now they're signaling incomplete. Ross did have it momentarily, but not long enough. And Forrest Gregg can't believe that call. His feeling is that he had it, was down. The whistle then should have blown so that it wouldn't have been a fumble either, and the reception would have counted and they would have had first down yardage. Instead, they give it back to Denver. 3:12 remaining, but the Bengals do have all 3 timeouts left. The interpretation Forrest Gregg was looking for on this play: catch, possession, whistle when he hit the ground, and no fumble after it was stripped, because he should be, in Gregg's opinion, down at this point. Now the ball's stripped free, but that shouldn't matter in Forrest Gregg's opinion.
Bob, I'll tell you one thing, through 6 games of this season, that has happened to the Cincinnati Bengals a great many times. Controversial plays like that one.
Now the Broncos trying to protect the 7-point lead. Give it to Preston. Pushed back. The Bengals contend that Robert Jackson has possession of the ball, but that came after the whistle.
I find it hard to believe that this football team with 2:51 left is staring a 1-6 record squarely between the eyes. Denver Broncos will win their first game at home if they don't fumble it away here.
Well,
in about 390 days.
Not just a fumble that could do them in. We still have the 2-minute warning and 3 Bengal timeouts. So if they can stop them without a first down here, they'll have an opportunity. And Preston is smothered almost immediately. This is going to be 3rd down and 7 yards to go. You won't miss anything, but we're going to check with New York. An update from NFL 83.
Thank you, Bob. Good news for the Denver fans who are watching your game. Look what happened in Seattle. Jim Plunkett just lost the ball the way Scott Brunner did a few weeks back for the Giants. Shelton Robinson brings it in. 31-22 Seattle. Bob Costas.
Thank you, Len Berman. 2 minutes and 25 seconds remaining, and Forrest Gregg's expression, which is seldom that jolly on the sideline, but even more grim than usual under these circumstances.
Bob, it's very important that the Bengals properly use the 2-minute warning here now. There's 2:25 left. They have 2 timeouts left. Am I correct? I believe they have 2 timeouts left. So if they can call one more timeout and actually use 2, 1 timeout and the 2-minute warning, and that'll give them 3 extra plays, or either team 3 extra plays if they call one more timeout. There it is. They've got to use this last 25 seconds properly.
The theory being it's better to use timeouts when the other team has the ball rather than save them for when you have them, when you have more control over what's happening.
Well, the theory is, too, that you've got a built-in timeout at the 2-minute warning. Blitz.
Watson makes the catch. Watson at the 25-yard line. So had they been able to defend that play, they wouldn't have had to use a timeout. The incompletion would have stopped it for them, but they get 14 yards instead and keep the football.
I have a real contrast here. The Denver Broncos have been able to blitz the Bengals and come up with a big play. The Bengals, on the other hand, have come up with a blitz but have not been able to stop Denver. We've had Steve Watson, Rick Upchurch open underneath that zone coverage several times after a blitz by Cincinnati.
Now the Bengals use a timeout, which leaves them with 1 plus the 2-minute warning. 2:11 showing on the clock.
So let's see. It won 2 plays, and there's 2 minutes left for and the field goal. Well, they should get the ball back at about 1:20, maybe 1:25.
But they're getting awfully close to the range where it's almost a certainty for Carlos.
I don't know if you try it, though.
Fearing the block?
Fearing the block. They run 4 downs and let the time run off the clock as best as possible. The Denver defense has done a decent job. It'll be 1st and 80, or maybe you throw an intentional interception down at the goal line. Just anything course, you don't have somebody pick up a fumble or a blocked kick and run it the other way.
Watson in motion on the first down play from the 26. They give it to Preston.
Stay in bounds, stay in bounds.
He does. A flag goes down on the play, so that stops the clock with 2:04 left.
Now the Bengals got another break. The 2-minute warning cannot take place until 2 minutes or less appears on the clock.
It is a break because the call is against Denver. The Broncos have had to be extremely resourceful today.
Yes, they have.
In the face of injuries which have changed their offensive game plan. And they've patched things together and are on the verge of their 4th victory.
Holding number 62, offense, first down.
Mention credit to the Denver Bronco offense. They've also accomplished their feat today against the #1 ranked defense in the NFL going into this week's action.
2-minute warning after this play.
He's going to throw it.
Surprisingly, sideline for Watson and a leaping catch. Watson is at about the 21-yard line. So they get 15 on the play. And the clock shows exactly 2 minutes remaining. So the Bengals have 1 timeout left, and it'll be 2nd down and 5 Denver when we come back.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes, 1972. Previously injured John Brody cranks up on the sideline. San Francisco needs a 4th quarter miracle. They're losing 17-6 to Minnesota. Brody fires one 25 yards to Gene Washington, TD number 1. Here comes Brody again, running right, pointing left. Bingo! TD number 2 to wide open Dick Witcher. The 49ers win it, and John Brody gets a ride to the dressing room.
Last year, Americans recycled over 24 billion aluminum cans, creating a new and powerful resource. And it's worth it, because there's precious energy to be saved by remelting the cans and making brand new aluminum. Recycling. We're doing it now, and new cans are on the way, made of lightweight, energy-saving aluminum. Keep up the good work, America.
We can't wait for tomorrow.
Some unofficial passing figures. DeBerg has completed 25 of 37 for 284 yards, and Watson has been on the receiving end of 8 of those passes, good for 120 yards.
That's his 9th 100-yard receiving game, isn't it, Steve Watson?
Exactly 2 minutes left from the 21-yard line. Harros, first down and then some. And what an important man he's been off the bench today for Denver.
Bengals trying to tackle the football. Rick Rosano came up with it, but they called Rick Barros down. Oh,
no,
Cincinnati ball.
How about that?
He tore it away from Rick Barros.
What a turn of events. So with 1 minute and 51 seconds remaining and still 1 timeout to use, the Bengals have it back. Let's see if we can pick it up.
Watch 51, right side of the screen. When Barros gets hit by Bobby Kemp, he's got the ball. Who strips it loose? Oh, it just comes loose. Eddie Edwards from Ross Browner, 79 from behind. Barros just drops it. And the Bengals recover. 1st and 90, but at least they've got a chance. Schonert now calls 2 or 3 plays and plus an automatic play from the huddle. They got to use this sideline, get out of bounds whenever they can.
Rodney Tate on the catch, looks for the sideline and finds it. They only got about 6 on the play. Clock stopped with 1:43 showing.
Now Dan Reeves is upset, yelling at anybody and everybody within earshot.
The Broncos 24 and the Bengals 17. Again, lots of time. The catch is made by Alexander, but he had to go to his knees to do it, so no chance to get out of bounds as the Bengals try and line up quickly. A minute 28 on the clock.
This will be an automatic play, one they practice daily.
Ross makes the reception. It's very close to a first down near the 34-yard line.
You see Randy Gradishar staying on top of Dan Ross as long as he possibly can. 1:08 left. The officials are calling a timeout to measure for a first down.
And they're serenaded by the Denver fans.
Yeah, but now Schonert should have communication to the offense. He should be calling a play right now so that everybody, he is. It's short. Now, as soon as the referee, as soon as the umpire steps away from the football and the chains are set, clock will start. Starts now.
Alexander, first down yardage and out of bounds to stop the clock at the 38-yard line. 59 seconds left and one timeout remaining. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Michael Weisman. The coordinating producer of NBC's NFL Football is Ted Nathanson. The telecast of today's game was produced in Denver by Ralph Abraham, directed by Mark Warner, technical director Lou Chewinski, and associate director Fred Whitten.
Broncos now come in with 3 fresh defensive linemen. Trying to get a little more pressure on Turk Schonert in this 2-minute offense.
That's Verser in motion. Flag is down. And so is Schonert in the grasp of Walt Boyer. Reuben Carter, 68, also there, but it was Boyer, 65. 3rd sack of the game for Denver. Let's see what the penalty's all about. Boyer, a 10th round draft choice. So he's been an addition, unexpected plus.
Bob, somebody ran the wrong pattern there. Turk Schonert had nobody to throw the football to.
Holding, number 78, offense, penalty declined, 2nd down.
Anthony Munoz holding on the play. But they take the loss instead, creating 2nd and 18. Alexander can't hold it.
Tough catch. He's traveling away from the football. Ball is thrown low and it's sinking at your feet. That's probably the most difficult catch there is in football. 3rd down and 20. Obviously 2 down yardage.
Bengals have 1 timeout remaining. This is the only quarter in which the scoreboard totals have not been identical. They each got 7 in the first, 3 in the second, 7 in the third. But the DeBerg pass to Parros stands as the only score of the 4th quarter, 24-17 Denver. Schonert connects with Kreider, who skips out of bounds near the original line of scrimmage.
Gets half of it back. It'll be 4th down and about 11 yards.
To stay alive. Schonert gets away. A man wide open. The catch is made by Collinsworth, and he's at the 40-yard line of Denver. 30 seconds. And stopped with 29 seconds now.
Good throw by Schoenert over the linebackers, underneath the defensive backs, and of course in a prevent situation, those 3 defensive backs are going to be back there to make sure no one gets deeper than they are. And Schoenert was flush from the pocket. Good pressure by the Denver defensive line, still able to get the ball off.
The scoreboard still shows Cincinnati with 1 timeout remaining, but I have to assume that timeout was charged against them, leaving them with none, and now the scoreboard changes to reflect that.
That's George Sefcik talking to Dirk Schoenert. Up in the coach's box is Bruce Coslett, receiver and quarterback coach. They'll probably call a series of plays, 2 or 3 with the 1 automatic play. Try to use the sideline as best they possibly can.
Schoenert's numbers, 18 of 28, 269 yards. Collinsworth has caught 6 for 134. Schoenert has not thrown a TD pass, either today or in his career to date. Needs one here. Another completion. It's Collinsworth again, and he gets away and is going to get out of bounds. What a big play at the 25-yard line.
Dennis Smith had him in his grasp. And you can let him gain another 5 yards, but you can't let him get out of bounds. That certainly is a mistake by the Denver defense. Same play, wide open.
They put it down at the 24.
Now you can see the Denver defense with their hands on their hips. Defenses in this situation get more tired than the offense. It's more difficult, more draining to react than it is to act.
Alexander going for the sideline and gets there at the 19-yard line with 13 seconds left.
The play took 7 seconds. I see Turk has got some problems here because he really can't mess around. You can't wait for a receiver to get open with 13 seconds left. You got to look once, twice, and then throw it to your outlet receiver at the sideline.
A completion in the middle of the field would probably do them in.
Correct. Denver certainly knows that. But they got to cover everybody in the middle. You know what? Somebody breaking free.
They got to get out of bounds and take it all the way to the end zone. Throwing for 6. Incomplete. 7 seconds. Ryder was in the vicinity.
Collinsworth was uncovered. If that ball had been thrown a little shorter, he had a chance to go up and after it. That place took 6 seconds.
They could possibly get off 2 more plays. Going into the end zone twice.
And they have to, so that if there's an incompletion or even a completion, everything's got to stop. There's Ken Anderson on the bench. Can't do a thing about it. Probably the same play, Bob.
Looks like it. Everybody goes up. 1 second remains as it falls incomplete. So just like the last play, it took 6 seconds.
And I'm sure they'll run the same play again. Now remember, fans, that a football game cannot end on a defensive penalty. And part of what Cincinnati is doing is hoping to either get an interference call, some collision that may result in a flag. There'll be 1 more play or the reception in the end zone. The game cannot end on a penalty flag on the defense. It can with a penalty flag on the offense.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Pat McAnally's in there, 87. He's 6 feet 6.5 inches tall. Let's see if it works.
3 receivers right side.
Same play.
Incomplete, and Denver has won it.
No flags.
McAnally is going to argue that he was interfered with. He'll get no satisfaction. Reeves and the Broncos will be 4-3. And incredibly, as DeBerg congratulates Reeves, incredibly, Forrest Gregg and the Bengals 1-6. Denver wins it 24-17. Stay tuned for NFL 83 after these messages.
This afternoon at Mile High Stadium, 2 cheers for the Denver defense. Because look at this. This is the Cincinnati defense, the interception by Ray Horton. This is all the scoring Cincinnati got in the last 3 quarters. So the big story today, the Denver defense and their win. This is the Budweiser NFL Report, brought to you by Budweiser, proud sponsor of the U.S. Olympic team. For all you do, this Bud's for you. So a big win for Denver despite all of the problems they've had this year. They are 4-3, and with the Raiders about to lose their game today in Seattle, they'll drop to 5-2. Denver would be just 1 game out of first place despite all of the Elway stuff. He's been replaced by Steve DeBerg. He's standing by in Denver. Let's go out there to Bob Costas, Bob Trumpy.
All right, thank you, Len Berman. And as you said, Steve DeBerg is with us down on the field. And Bob Trumpy, why don't you do the honors?
Steve, congratulations. Let me give you the stats. 25 of 37, 284 yards and 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. That one returned for a touchdown. Congratulations, but let's talk about the adjustments you guys had to make at halftime with Winder getting hurt and with Preston being your only able running back and backup tight end. You guys were scrambling and did an outstanding job.
Yeah, we did have to adjust. We stayed with the same plays. We just had to use different personnel. So it may have looked a little bit different, but basically it was the things that we had prepared to do.
How about halftime? Did you make any major adjustments there?
Well, not really. We used the same plays that we prepared for, but we used different people to do it. So that's the adjustment that we did.
Steve, your prime receiver today was Steve Watson. By design, or were they just giving you that?
Well, I just like throwing to Steve Watson.
I can't say that I blame you.
You know, so every chance I get, if I have a choice, I'm going to go to Steve Watson.
Yeah, you had a lot of big plays, and Watson in prevent situations seemed to come up with a big catch for you all 4 quarters.
Yeah, he's one of the, if not the best all-around receiver. He's at least one of the best, and I personally think he is the best. So. I go to him every chance I can.
Steve, thanks a lot. Once again, congratulations. Let's go back to NFL 83 and Len Berman.
Okay, thank you, Bob Trumpy. Of course, Denver breaking that streak of